Hello and welcome to episode 65 of my Working with Todoist series. In this episode, I'm going to show you how you can set up a rather more complex project if you have, for example, 3 dogs that you want to give medication to, and they have to be given medication in different times. Now, this might seem a little specific, but that's because it's actually a viewer's question. Charlie has asked me about how to set up a project that would remind him to give medication to 2 of the dogs that he has. I think he has 3 dogs, but one dog's called Rory, one dog is called Barrow, and one dog is called Bear. So this is quite an interesting project to set up because in Charlie's story, one of his dogs needs to be medicated twice a day, and one of his dogs needs to be medicated once a day. So the way I'm going to set this up, and the way I was thinking about how I would set this up to remind me, because this is going to be a repeating task, but what I don't want is I don't want things to be cropping up in my today list and making my today list look messy and overwhelming. So let's start off, and I would create a main project. So I'm going to call this dog medication. And this would be kind of like my holding project. Now, within this project, I'm going to create 2 other projects. So one I'm going to call Rory. And the other one I'm going to call, let me just drag this in here. So I'm going to drag it in so that it's a nested project. I'm going to add another project below called Barrow. Now, I might be wrong because Charlie mentioned he has 3 dogs, Rory, Barrow and Bear. I'm not sure which ones actually need medicating. So for my example, let me just say that Rory is the one that needs medicating twice a day. So give Rory his what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this AM medication, because I want to make sure that this is correct. I would put a label of home on that because I would do that at home, and I would put this in every day. So that's now set up, and I would also add another task, which is give Rory his PM medication. And again, that's of course at home, and that's going to be every day. So that's now set up. That's Rory taken care of. I now go into Barrow, and Barrow is the dog that needs to be medicated once a day. So give Barrow his medication, and again that's going to be at home, and that's going to be every day. So that's how I would set up this project. So basically when I go into here, I've got dog medication is my main title, and the reason I do it this way is because I would want to probably have some separate comments maybe that I want to add in here, and it gives me the freedom to add little notes as and when I require them. Rory, again, of course, I could actually say give him the pink tablet, and if that was the case, I would actually say give Rory his AM pink medication, give Rory his PM blue medication, for example, because I don't want to get them mixed up. Now, these are going to come up every day. Now, because of my flag system, and this is where this is my little tip, is because Rory is AM medication, so I'm going to give that its AM flag, and Rory's PM medication is for the evening, so I would give it its evening tag, which is no tag basically, the white one. And Barrow, let's say I have to give Barrow his medication in the afternoon, or let's say I have to give it in the morning. So I now have these tasks set up. So this is how I would do it to remind myself. And also it means that I can go into my filters, and I've deliberately not finished. So when I go into my AM tasks for today, I have my morning filters, post WOD. I've give Rory his AM medication, give Barrow his medication. If I go into my PM tasks, these would add in all the other ones, and as you can see, I've got, where is it going to be? Boop. It wouldn't come up in here because obviously I've set up, let me go back into my projects. I've set up Rory's PM. So let's imagine that I had to give that in the afternoon, so let's give it that flag. Let's go back into my filters, and I would go to my PM task, and now you'll see that I will have somewhere down here, give Rory his PM medication. So by using my flagging system, it means that I don't get this all confused, because as you can see, my today task is all arranged in its into, as I say, orange is AM tasks, yellow is PM to afternoon tasks, and then white is PM tasks. So it's just, for me, this is a really good way of actually organizing a bit of a complex project. Now, I may have the medication might have to be done for 3 weeks, so every day. So if I go back into here, I could actually change this. I can do it every day for 3 weeks, and that's going to give me the date that it will end, which is on the 11th of September. So I could do it like that, which is pretty useful way of doing it. But that obviously would be up to you. So this sort of thing could be used for any kind of, medication. I mean, even just for, say, your mother or grandfather or father, or even your child. You could use this as a setup for it. But to avoid any sort of complication, I would suggest that using the flag system to indicate the time of day, like as I do, I think that would simplify this project very, very easily. Now, there could be many other ways of doing this, but for me, I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing during the day, how I'm checking my tasks. Because I use filters on my phone, and it's my phone that I'm checking to see what I need to do at any specific time. This is essentially how I would set this up, but I'm sure people have other ways. I mean, you could actually create a task like under Rory, so give Rory his medication, and then AM PM as a separate tasks under parent task. But I just find that separating things out into projects just allows me a little bit easier way of using the filters, just to make my lists less overwhelming. Okay, hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully you found this, maybe you have other things that you could use this kind of checklist for. But anyway, that was Charlie, who asked me about how I would set this up. That's basically how I would set this up. Hopefully you found that useful. And that's it for today. So please join me again in episode 66. And for the rest of you, I just hope you have an incredibly productive week.